So in this video, I'm about to do two things, just two things. One, I'm going to talk briefly about mindset and myths. And the other thing, I hope I'm going to whet your appetite for growing your audience, seeing more people and being more visible through those things. So I'm the Queen of Being Seen, and my work's been featured in lots of different places. I've spoken on the BBC, I've been on the radio, I've spoken at big companies, I've spoken at smaller companies, I've worked privately with clients, I've worked with them in groups. And all of this despite the size of my audience. So how do you speak to your audience? You know, one of the things that I hear the most from many of people like you who are business owners, maybe you're freelancers, consultants, authors, people that just want to get your products and your services in front of new people, is that you feel like you're speaking and nobody hears you, which can be really frustrating. You feel like you have nobody to sell to, and when you have that feeling that you've got nobody to sell to, it normally sounds like, well, I've got a bit of an audience, but that audience, they don't really want the thing that I'm doing or the thing that I'm sharing. And none of this is true. You look at who you work with, and then you feel maybe confused about how specifically to speak to them. You might think, well, do they hear what I'm saying? Does it make any sense? Am I clear? Are they clear on what I'm talking about? And for many of you, this puts you in a tailspin. Now, there are so many answers to this question that I could be here all day, but I wanted to keep this as a very short video. In fact, I'm going to try my hardest to keep it as a 7-minute video, but if I can, definitely under 10 minutes. So I'd love you to share this video for one reason and one reason only. Many of you are grappling with how you can do this specifically in your business, and I basically want many of you to know how and what. So I promised you I would speak about two things in this video. So the first thing I said was mindset. Mindset to me is a way for you to think about being visible. Mindset for me is a way for you to think differently. It's not about any fancy language patterns. It's not about you tricking people into doing things. It's not even about clickbait. This is all about you speaking to people from your heart so that your audience hear you, they get to know you, they get to like you, and they get to trust you. Because when you are wondering, like, what do I say? How do I sell my stuff to them? Who do I work with? And you're tying yourself up in knots and feeling frustrated, it means that you don't do any of the things that you felt that you were put on this earth to do. So here's a couple of pointers and things that I've noticed over the many years of working literally with tens and thousands of people. I've been doing this for 11 years. Tens and thousands of people. They've been businesses, individuals, clients, professionals. So the first thing, when it comes to how you think about things in terms of mindset, I want you to start thinking more about them, your audience, more about them than you. Now, here's how this frequently comes up for me. You know, even in recent client conversations and client calls, people say, oh, Jenny, I'm going to put something out on social media. I'm going to take a photo, but you know what? My hair doesn't look great. Or I'm going to get out there sooner or later or at some time soon. And you're just thinking to yourself, well, maybe I look a bit sweaty, it's summer. And I want to say hi to Janet, who's actually tuning in, I think, from Hong Kong. So this is the thing. When you're looking to grow your audience in any way, in terms specifically of being even more visible to them, it's really, really important that you think about them, not you. You've all seen those posts where people will say, hey, this is my name, this is what I do, this is how long I've been doing it for, and this is, you know, why I'm so great at it, and this is why you should work with me. And that's all very well and good, but it always talks about you. So the first myth that I'm going to bust is that you need to be pimping yourself out all over social media, online, offline, at talks, that you actually need an ego to grow an audience, because that's simply not true. Which brings me on to the second myth. The second myth is about audience and audience size. And I'm going to make sure I keep my promise in the time constraints of this video, which I'm doing live. And by the way, I'm not using a script. I've literally written down some words so that I remember what to say and I don't go off track. So the second myth is this huge audience myth. Many of you think that you have to have masses of people, that you have to have thousands of followers, that you have to have, 20,000 people on your page. But if you notice, I've been doing this for 11 years, and even on my Facebook public page, my business page, you'll notice that at the moment I have less than 2,000 people. But that hasn't affected how many people I've been able to work with. Google didn't say to me, you can't come in the door and speak to our execs here because you have less than, I think at the time, 1,000 people on your Facebook page. No one has ever gone and looked on my LinkedIn connections and said, you know what, because you don't have thousands and thousands and a gazillion people on there, what you do doesn't work. What they have done is people who are really great at being visible to their audience. Hi, Alan. Thanks for saying hi, everyone. People that are really great with what they do with their audiences, they recognise that whether their audience is an audience of just one, that they can still give value, that they can still convey credibility, that they can still build their business. Because remember the first point, mindset, it's all about them and not you. So what I want to invite you to do, if you are building a business, even if you've been at it for a long time, I don't want you to get fixated with the numbers of your audience. I want you to nurture the people that you've already got. I want you to be visible to the people you've already got, even if that's an audience of one and that happens to be your mum. So that's the second myth. Now, the third myth is this whole introvert-extrovert conversation. Now, I don't claim to be a subject matter expert on introvertism or extrovertism, but here's what I know for sure. If you're an introvert, it's a gift. It's a gift to you and it's a gift to your audience. And if you're extrovert, it's a gift. It's a gift to you and it's a gift to your audience. Too many people, when they're looking at being visible to more of their audience, they focus on, oh, I think I'm an introvert, or I think I'm an extrovert, or even I think I'm an ambivert. Hey, Missy B from London is on. Hello, and waving back at you. Too many people focus on what they are, introvert, extrovert or ambivert. And I'm going to tell you in a moment why this actually doesn't matter. Number one, remember I said the mindset. It's all about them and not you. Barack Obama is probably one of the most famous introverts or most well-known introverts that there are. Now, being an introvert or extrovert means it's where you recharge your batteries from. It's where you get your energy from. So if you're highly introverted, you're likely to get that feeling of being peopled out, And actually being online and being visible online is a great way for you to do what you need to do and then go and recharge. So if you are introverted, you get peopled out. You often want your own time and space. You probably like journaling and writing things down, or sitting in solitude, or like I'm very lucky to be able to do today, sitting in nature. So if this is you, there is nothing wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you can only work with other clients that are introverted. It doesn't mean that extroverts won't like working with you. It means that you just like to recharge your energy. And here's the most important thing that you need to know about being an introvert. You think, speak, think. That's it. You're the person that will listen to everybody speaking in a meeting, and they'll all be jumping in, waiting to say something, and then you'll all of a sudden have what's kind of known as a mic drop moment. You'll listen to everybody else, you'll be thinking, you'll say your thing, and then you'll go back to thinking. That's it. So there's absolutely no reason or excuse for you as an introverted business owner, freelancer, author, speaker, or any of those